Can you imagine living in a place where you can't even choose the color of your car? Where makeup is banned, citizens are prevented from leaving the country, and women can't even sit in the front seat of cars? And if you think we're talking about North Korea, Cuba, or Venezuela, you're wrong. Today, we're talking about Turkmenistan, a nation so isolated that few even know it exists. That's why Bello Mundo is taking you to uncover the darkest secrets of this almost invisible land where control is so extreme that it seems unbelievable. Number 1. Secret country. Turkmenistan is that country that hardly anyone has heard of, but when you do, it's hard to believe the stories that come out of it. Located in Central Asia, Turkmenistan borders Kazakhstan and Afghanistan. What is most striking, however, is the vast Karakum Desert, which covers more than half of the territory. Underneath this vast expanse of sand, the country hides natural riches, such as large reserves of natural gas, which account for 80% of its exports. With so many resources, you'd expect prosperity, right? But the reality is quite different. With a population of just over 6 million, Turkmenistan is one of the most isolated places in the world. Since gaining independence from the Soviet Union in 1991, the country has been plunged into authoritarian rule, where the leader has absolute control over everything. Ruled by only 3 presidents so far, Turkmenistan has become an extreme example of a cult of personality and repression. And it all started with the first leader, a man obsessed with power who made a point of leaving his name etched in history. Literally. Number 2. Rama. Well, let's talk about the first president. Turkmenistan's era of eccentricities began with Sapar Murat Niyazov, the country's first president after independence. He called himself Turkmenbashi, which means father of all Turkmen, and was not content with ruling with an iron fist. He took his cult of personality to almost unimaginable extremes. One of the most bizarre legacies he left behind was the Rama, a book he wrote and promoted as a spiritual guide for all the people. But the Rama wasn't just any book. It became compulsory reading in schools, universities, and public offices. To succeed in any field in Turkmenistan, you had to master the book's content. Even to get a driver's license, you had to prove that you knew Rama by heart. Even doctors, instead of taking the traditional Hippocratic oath, swore allegiance to their leader by reciting passages from the book. And the obsession went even further. Niyazov declared that whoever read the book 3 times would be guaranteed a place in paradise. Number 3. New calendar. If the Rama already seemed like a strange imposition, the eccentricity didn't stop there. The then president decided that the country's calendar also needed a makeover. As a result, the months and days of the week were given new names, many of them in honor of Turkmenistan's historical and cultural figures. But of course, the leader himself was also glorified. January, for example, was renamed Turkmenbashi in his own honor, while April was renamed Gurban Sultan in tribute to his mother who died in 1948. The days of the week also underwent changes. Tuesday was renamed Yazgan, meaning Day of Youth, while Thursday became Sogapgun, or Day of Justice. Number 4. Melon Day. Do you know who else got a tribute in Turkmenistan? Melons. In Turkmenistan, even melons have their own holiday. Every second Sunday in August, the country celebrates Melon Day, a date created in 1994 by then-President Sapar Murat Niyazov. The highlight of the festival is the Turkmenbashi melon, a variety named after the leader himself. The fruit is revered for its aroma, taste, and size, and of course has become yet another symbol of national greatness. The celebrations include giant displays of melons, as well as dances and musical concerts in the capital Ashgabat. In speeches, Niyazov extolled the fruit as a gift from the fertile land of Turkmenistan, and said that the Turkmen melon was unique in the world and made your head spin. And so the melon became yet another symbol of the cult of personality, transformed into an icon of national perfection in Turkmenistan's official calendar. Number 5. President worship. And while we're on the subject of the cult of personality, if there was one thing that defined the regime of Turkmenistan's first president, it was his obsession with glorifying his own image, something that reached unbelievable proportions. His need to see his face and name plastered all over the country seemed to know no bounds. Giant gold-plated statues, some even revolving, dominated the streets of the capital, costing millions of dollars. All this while the population lacked basic essential services. But it didn't stop there. The president's portrait was on postage stamps, money bills, and even public buildings, such as schools and airports, were renamed in his honor. The cult of personality also invaded everyday life. Every citizen received a watch with the leader's image on it, as if his presence should be remembered every second. However, as the saying goes, nothing is so bad that it can't get worse. After the dictator's death in December of 2006, power passed to Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov, and that's who we're going to talk about now. Number 6. New president and new cult. When Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov took power, it seemed that a new era was beginning. He quickly revoked many of the decrees signed by Niyazov and promised to put an end to the former leader's cult of personality once and for all. It seemed that the country was finally taking a more sensible course, but it didn't take long to realize that the change was just window dressing. He had only undone the cult of the former leader, only to start his own. Monuments that once glorified the former president now bore his name. Oh, and let's not forget that he was also a bit of a writer. Soon bookstores began to fill up with his works, and his photographs appeared everywhere, from hotels and hospitals to bars and restaurants. But it doesn't stop there. Vain and clearly narcissistic, he loved to share videos showing off his talents, whether driving fast cars, taking part in strength competitions, or even teaching civil servants how to exercise. A true showman in power. Number 7. The singing president. As well as ruling with an iron fist, writing books, and showing off in exercise videos, the current president of Turkmenistan also considers himself an artist in his spare time. Berdimuhamedov loves to share music videos with an aesthetic that seems to have come straight out of the last century. And of course, the protagonist of all these productions, himself. In one of these clips, the dictator appears in a red cap, matching shirt and sunglasses, singing a rap about Turkmenistan. In another, he appears strumming a guitar, but it's hard to tell if he's actually playing. This is because a dense cloud of smoke, in the best 90s dance floor style, invades the scene and obscures the performance. These videos, as you can imagine, quickly went viral. But instead of impressing the public with his musical skills, the president became the butt of jokes, and the jovial artist became the laughingstock of the world. Number 8. Black car ban. Absurd laws exist everywhere, and if you follow the channel, you'll already know that we've made an unmissable video about the most bizarre laws in the United States. Be sure to check it out right after this one. But in Turkmenistan, there is a rule that surpasses all expectations. Believe it or not, in Ashgabat, the country's capital, black cars have been banned since 2014. That's right. In one of his moments of inspiration, the president decided to ban black cars without any prior warning to the citizens. The most surreal thing? Many owners didn't even know about the ban and were surprised to see their cars being towed away without any explanation. Imagine the shock. When they found out why, the solution came. In order to get their car back, the owners had to paint it a different color. The condition? They had to sign a document undertaking to paint the car silver or white. For the president, white symbolizes luck and prosperity, while black is frowned upon. This obsession with white goes beyond cars. It is also present in Ashgabat's architecture, where many buildings are clad in white marble. And that's exactly where we're going now. Number 9. The City of White Marble. Ashgabat, the capital of Turkmenistan, is a true architectural spectacle. The impeccably clean sidewalks, adorned with neat flower beds and lampposts that look like they're straight out of an art gallery, make the city shine. And that's no exaggeration. When we say glowing, we mean it literally. Ashgabat holds the world record for the highest concentration of buildings clad in white marble. There are more than 500 buildings covering more than 43 million square feet, which has earned it a place in the Guinness Book of Records and makes the capital a stunning setting for any visitor. The parks, with their symmetrical fountains, are also beautiful, perfect for a Sunday stroll. But there's one detail. Nobody uses these spaces. In fact, the city is almost deserted. The most luxurious part of Ashgabat is inhabited almost exclusively by guards and street sweepers. And why doesn't anyone live there? Simple. Most people barely have enough to eat, let alone live in these marble buildings. Number 10. The world's largest covered Ferris wheel. Speaking of monumental constructions, the Turkmen government seems determined to collect records at any cost. As if securing a place in Guinness for marble buildings wasn't enough, in 2012, Ashgabat earned another place in the Book of Records, this time with the world's largest indoor Ferris wheel. With its impressive height of 157 feet, the Ferris wheel is housed inside a gigantic circular building, one of the many extravagant projects created by the government to try and convey the image of progress and modernity. The structure is part of an indoor amusement park in the heart of Ashgabat, which also has cinemas, restaurants, and other attractions. But, like the city around it, all of this remains practically empty, unused. Number 11. The Wedding Palace. Think marble and an indoor Ferris wheel are extravagant enough? Wait until you see the Wedding Palace. It sounds like a joke, but it's the truth. In a country where the population can barely survive, where old people continue to work because their pensions don't cover the basics, yet another luxurious and useless monument appears. The Wedding Palace. One of the most surreal sights in Ashgabat is this government building, covered by an immense, geometrically caged disco ball. Built in 2012, the Wedding Palace looks more like the creation of an eccentric millionaire than a civilian building. Inside, the building lives up to its name. With 11 floors dedicated to marriage, couples can legally register their union and hold lavish ceremonies. The grandest hall, the Shamshirag, is right in the center of the gigantic globe. What's more, if you want to get married in this palace, you have to take a photo in front of the president's portrait. After all, who better to bless your big day than the great leader, right? Number 12. The Golden Dog. In addition to the white marble, Ferris wheel, wedding palace, and giant statues of the president, Turkmenistan is also known for its love of dogs, especially the Alabai breed, which is native to the region. The fascination with dogs of this breed is so great that the president has not only erected several statues in their honor, but in 2017, he even presented Russian leader Vladimir Putin with a puppy. The moment went viral, especially when Putin affectionately kissed the puppy, which generated reviews and comments all over the world. If we didn't know Putin, we'd almost like him after that scene. But his love for furry creatures didn't stop there. In 2020, the president went one step further and unveiled a huge golden statue in the center of Ashgabat, further raising the status of these dogs in the country. Number 13. Ice rink in the desert. Now imagine an ice palace in the middle of a desert. It sounds surreal, but in Turkmenistan, this is just another of the government's bizarre quirks, the result of the extravagance of its presidents. In 2004, the first president, Sapar Murat Niyazov, had the brilliant idea of building an ice palace in the mountains near Ashgabat, one of the hottest regions in the world, where temperatures can reach 122 degrees Fahrenheit. On national television, he announced, "We're going to build a grandiose ice palace for 1,000 people. Our children will learn to ski and skate, and why not cafes and restaurants?" Ignoring the obvious fact that the ice could melt in the desert, construction began. But, like many of Niyazov's megalomaniac projects, the end result was quite different. The palace turned into a winter sports complex, completed only in 2006, after the death of its creator. With millions of dollars invested, the complex occupies 193 square feet and includes rinks for field hockey, figure skating, and competitions. And of course, the facade covered in white marble. Number 14. Clean face. Can you imagine living in a country where television presenters are forbidden to wear makeup? Well, in Turkmenistan, this is just one of the strange rules that the government has imposed in the name of the country's morality and traditional values. Since 2004, women on television have been banned from wearing any kind of makeup during broadcasts. The official justification? According to the government, makeup compromises women's natural appearance and goes against local customs. And this rule is not limited to television presenters. In the same year that black cars were banned, women who were already struggling to obtain a driver's license were strictly barred from driving in the country. As well as not being able to drive, several other restrictions were imposed. Beauty services such as eyelash extensions, nails, Botox, plastic surgery, and even getting your nails done were completely banned. Number 15. Dress code. Yes, life for women in Turkmenistan is far from easy, and the restrictions on dress are just the tip of the iceberg. Women are obliged to wear traditional dress in public, and any kind of modern clothing, such as jeans or tight dresses, is absolutely forbidden. In addition, female civil servants are forced to sign a formal pledge, promising to abandon beauty services and wear balak, wide embroidered pants, along with traditional dresses. Breaking this rule can lead to dismissal or, in some cases, even more serious consequences. What do you think of this list? Which of these facts shocked you the most? Do you know of any other eccentricities in this mysterious country? Let us know in the comments. For those of you who have watched this far, thank you very much, and see you on your next adventure.